Hello, and welcome to the Election 2016 Student Panel. I'm Ben Slowey.
And I'm Jenna Gadish. And with us today we have three student panelists who are going to speak to us about the election.
And would you guys care to introduce yourselves?
Yes, my name is Ian Holtz. I am a journalism student at UWM, studying journalism in my senior year, and I'm voting for Hillary Clinton.
My name is Jamie Anderson, and I also studied journalism as well as IT. I early voted for Hillary Clinton.
I'm Morgan Parody. I'm the president of Young Americans for Liberty at UWM, and I think I'm going to vote for Trump.
Thanks for all being here today, guys. So today we'll be discussing how each of our candidates here are currently doing, how they've been doing in the past debates and the updates that have been going on in their campaign, and what we have to expect from them in the week to come. We're only 8 days away. So well, I guess we'll start with you, Ian. How you feel Hillary's doing? Like, has she been like on a roll lately, and have like just the recent news in her campaign, how has it affected her momentum?
Yeah, I feel like the recent news has been pretty bad for Hillary Clinton, with the email scandal coming up again. But I still think she's going to win overall, and the gap is narrowing, but I don't think it's a gap that Trump can overcome.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Sure. And Jamie, would you concur?
Yeah, I agree. Definitely with the latest FBI email controversy, that is probably going to hurt Hillary Clinton's numbers a little bit. But I think it's so late in the game, especially with early voting, with people who've already casted their vote, that I don't think Trump will be able to close in and win the election. So I definitely think Hillary Clinton is still going to win.
Sure. And Morgan, how do you feel that Donald Trump has been doing recently in his campaign?
There's a lot of stuff that I would change about what he's been doing, but I think if he gets aggressive enough on the email scandal coming back, it'll help him win. I think that there's a fighting chance now.
Mm-hmm. Sure, definitely. And a lot can happen in a week. You know, we never know, like, what Trump is going to say, what about Hillary is going to be leaked. I mean, who knows?
It's an interesting debate.
Yeah.
Now let's see, what do you guys think about UWM campus and students and what sides that they're taking? Do you think that there's a certain side that is stronger than the other?
Yeah, I definitely think that Hillary Clinton has a lot of support on campus, but I do think there's a huge silent group of people who would vote for Trump that just aren't voicing their opinions. Sure. And I think it's, you know, maybe not a silent majority, but maybe it is.
Mm-hmm. Sure. How would you guys feel about that?
I disagree with that opinion. They did a poll at Sandberg last semester during the primaries, and wait, actually, never mind.
Excuse me.
Yeah, I do agree with what you were saying, though, because I think that Hillary Clinton is definitely going to win the vote amongst UWM voters. I know that a lot of people at UWM voted for Bernie Sanders in the primaries, and UWM does have a lot of support for third-party candidates like Gary Johnson and Jill Stein. She visited campus twice during this election cycle, so obviously she wouldn't come back a second time if she wasn't popular, you know, the first time. But with that said, I think with all the division between Donald Trump, Gary Johnson, and Jill Stein, Hillary Clinton will still win the majority vote here on campus.
Sure. Well, now that since you brought up how a lot of younger voters, mostly college range, did vote for Bernie Sanders, what do you guys feel like has happened to Bernie Sanders? Do you feel like they're in the so-called Bernie or bust mindset, or do you feel they are rallying around the Democratic candidate?
From people that I've spoken to personally, since I also used to be a Bernie Sanders supporter, a lot of my friends were or are Sanders supporters as well. I really think that there's kind of two separate camps. There is the group who are now switching their vote to Hillary Clinton because Bernie Sanders himself has now endorsed Hillary Clinton because they want to keep the progressive movement going, and unfortunately Jill Stein herself said she's only aiming for 1% of the vote, so that's not a winning percent. On the other hand, however, there are some people who are, you know, Bernie or bust, and they are either voting third party or voting or not voting.
Sure. So Morgan, this is more of a question for you. So do you believe that students that support Trump or third-party candidates feel underrepresented on campus?
Not necessarily underrepresented, but maybe there might be intimidation against coming out and expressing support for somebody like Trump. We've seen it time and time again at like Milo Yiannopoulos events. You know, it's not okay for somebody who supports Trump to express their opinion in public, or they'll be shut down, sometimes violently.
Yeah,
for sure.
Well, do you guys think that with these third parties and with, you know, some people saying that they're not going to vote even campus-wide, do you think that's gaining more votes for Trump, though, if they're not voting or if they're not going to vote for, you know, one particular side?
Yeah, I think that there are definitely a lot of people who are maybe they supported Bernie and they're upset about corruption in Wall Street and big banks, you know, all this stuff that comes with big government colliding with corporations. And, you know, that's not something that somebody who supported Bernie Sanders would necessarily want to support. And that's the essence of Hillary Clinton is corruption. So I wouldn't be surprised if some people who supported Bernie Sanders liked Trump. I mean, he's like the definition of anti-establishment. I mean, he's not a career politician. I think that's what we need right now, is just anybody who hasn't been in politics forever, because that's what the problem is.
Although I don't know that you could say an A-list celebrity is anti-establishment, so.
Well, he hasn't worked in politics for his whole life like Hillary and Bernie Sanders. Well, Gary Johnson has been an entrepreneur, but you know, he was also governor of New Mexico. But yeah, I really like that he's not a career politician.
Sure.
I think that's what we need.
Yeah, for sure. So let's discuss a little bit about political orgs that are present on campus. So Morgan, you mentioned that you were a part of the Young Americans for Liberty. Now, that being said, just curious why you're choosing not to support Libertarian candidate Gary Johnson.
I never really considered myself to be part of the Libertarian Party. I'm more of a libertarian philosophically and an anarcho-capitalist. So I believe in voluntarism, that all human action should happen voluntarily or not at all, and government inherently violates that. So I'm against all government in every form. But the reason I support Trump is that he's kind of like a human bomb. He's kind of just being dropped in there and shaking stuff up. And that's what I like to see in government. I'm sick of this same old, making more laws. The government keeps growing. I'm hoping that maybe even Trump will bring in some illegitimacy to government in some people's eyes, but just anybody who's just not going to keep growing the government and continuing this, you know, path to destruction.
Sure. I see. Interesting. And have you guys had any experience with political organizations on campus in the past?
No.
Have not. Okay. How do you guys feel about candidate Gary Johnson? Like, do you feel like that if enough people were so perplexed by either candidate, didn't know who to vote for, and chose to vote third party, that Gary Johnson would be feasible?
I personally, so was your question again, like, do you think students are going to vote for him if they feel?
More like, if you feel like if enough like students that like didn't know like who to cast their vote for rallied around him, that he would have a chance nationally, not just at UWM.
I don't know. I don't really think he has a chance, because I know he himself is really only going for, I can't remember exactly what % of the votes, but
15, I think.
Yeah, I think that was 15% back when he was hoping to get a chance in the debates. But I think with only 1 week until the election, I don't think he has enough time to gain the support he's looking for.
Sure.
I think this has been a huge missed opportunity for the Libertarian Party.
Yeah. Well, looks like we're out of time, guys. Thank you all very much for being here, and it looks like we'll just see how the next week plays out.
Right. And I'm Jenna Gadish.
And I'm Ben Slowey from Media Milwaukee. Have a good day.